Hello, my students. I believe you are still safe and healthy. I'm still teacher Ibrahim, your teacher for general studies and communication skills. This program is brought to you by the Rwanda Education Board in partnership with MasterCard Foundation, together with Inspire, Educate, and Empower Rwanda. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as you know, the government closed schools in March, and this was done to control the spread of the virus among the people. So for that reason, we have to study from home until schools resume in September. We are now concluding our discussion of the topic of democracy and good governance. I need to remind you that in our last class, we talked about the role of democracy in promoting individual citizenship. We also looked at the various ways a person can become a citizen. And on top of this, we looked at the various rights and responsibilities of a citizen. And we saw how democracy can help make a citizen proud of belonging to his or her country. So today we are going to look at how democracy enhances good governance. We will make a recap of the whole topic to understand the relationship between democracy and good governance. Once again, I need to remind you that you need to have a notebook and a pen and be ready to write down notes for revision in your personal study time. You also need to clear away any noise and any form of disruptions because you need to pay attention. Now, democracy is crucial in promoting good governance in a state. And the following are the ways in which democracy promotes good governance. I want you to have a pen and paper ready so that you take note of these different ways in which democracy promotes good governance. We define good governance, first of all, let's remind ourselves, we define good governance as the activities, the provision of services for the public in an efficient and an effective way. Efficient means the work is done very well and very professionally, and then effectively means this work that is being done changes and improves the lives of the citizens. That's what we call good governance. Now, number one, I hope you are noting down. Democracy allows for checks and balances in administration of the state. Checks and balances is a system that allows for each branch of government to change or even to reject the proposals of another branch of government so as to prevent any of the branches from assuming or exerting too much power on the country. Because there are three branches of government. We said we have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judiciary. None of these three powers or three arms of government has more power than the other. Each of them works in coordination with the other, and none of them should exert more power on the other branch. So when the executive makes proposals, these proposals are taken to the legislature to be discussed. When the judiciary has proposals, these proposals are taken to the legislature to be discussed. Because the legislature are the representatives of the people, they are responsible for discussing the proposals to ensure that these proposals benefit the people as much as possible. Number two, we have, I hope you are still with me and you're writing. Number two, we have the fact that democracy promotes transparency and accountability. It ensures that those entrusted with responsibilities observe high levels of transparency and accountability. Transparent and accountable leadership has nothing to hide. And as a result, good governance is greatly improved. This means a transparent leadership always does everything in the open. The people are always informed of what is going on, and therefore this allows for the fact that if whatever is being done costs money, the people are informed of how much it will cost, and it is easy to keep track of how the finances is through that we provide the government with through the taxes are accounted for. So that is why I told you in the first lesson that we talked about democracy, that when the president appoints ministers and discovers they're not doing their work transparently and they're not being accountable enough, then these people are always put out of office, and other people who are more transparent and more accountable are put in those positions. All this is done to ensure that there is good governance. And then, number 3, democracy encourages efficiency in service delivery. It ensures that those who are entrusted with various responsibilities of serving the citizens do their best in service delivery. In failure to do so, most of the time, like we said, failure to do so, the citizens will hold these people accountable. Therefore, every effort is made by every government servant and official to accomplish their duties as assigned to them. These government officials serve the people efficiently, and remember, like I told you, effectively. They do their best in their service delivery, and the people must feel the impact of what their work is. Now, in addition to that, democracy promotes respect for the law. That's number 4. Democracy is founded on the rule of law, and no individual is above the law. This promotes development in a country, since every member of society obeys the law of the country, and even those in leadership, regardless of their positions, these people are all under the law, and therefore there is rule of law and respect for the law. Number 5, democracy ensures involvement of citizens in decision-making processes. It ensures that the people who are directly involved in decision-making are the citizens themselves. It ensures that the people always have a say through the election of leaders and through the public discussions where we share our opinions and views on what the government is doing. That's why we elect representatives. These representatives have a responsibility of presenting our views during their discussions in the Senate and in the Chamber of Deputies. And this gives us an opportunity. It means we have the right to even remove these people from office in case we feel they're not representing us as they should, especially when we get a chance in the general elections. We can say, Ibrahim, you have not represented us very well, so this time we are going to send Charles. So Ibrahim will be removed from parliament, and then Charles will be sent to parliament. As a result, this is because we have democracy, and that's how Charles will do a better job than Ibrahim, because he knows why Ibrahim was taken out of the position that he is now currently occupying.
Come along and play with us.
And then, number 6, democracy encourages what we call private initiative. This means that individuals can come up with innovative and creative ideas to improve themselves and society as a whole. Now, it also enables an individual to exploit his or her potential to the optimum, to the maximum. Consequently, or as a result, it improves the lives of citizens by eradicating poverty and promoting growth and development in the country. When you have democracy and you give people the freedom to participate in any activities they feel like, then you'll be giving people a chance to be creative, to be innovative. And this is the benefit of democracy. People become more creative, people become more innovative. We have seen so many young people innovating a number of things, a number of applications that are helping the government to do a lot of work more effectively, more efficiently. And these young people promoting their talents through a lot of things such as sports, such as entertainment and like music, arts and drama and all these things, because people have the freedom to participate in all their activities. So it encourages what we call private initiative. And as these young people participate in these activities, they are making a lot of money, which helps in improving their well-being and their income or their standards of living. And in the long run, it helps to facilitate what we call growth and development of the country. Now, number 7, I hope you are still noting down these points. Number 7, democracy is responsible for promotion of equity and equality. Equity and equality. Equity means that we all benefit from social services, social and public services. We all live, our standards of living are moving at the same pace. And then equality means we are all treated fairly, as we deserve to be treated. As a child, there is that level of equality. Now, in a society, we have what we call disadvantaged people. People who don't have the same level of education as the others, those that have gone to school. There are people who are poor because their incomes are very low. And then there are people who are maybe disabled and they cannot participate in all the activities that they want. Some people are, like I said, some people are illiterate and uneducated, so they cannot get good jobs. These people still need to be helped. Now, there is something we call affirmative action. And affirmative action means that these are activities that we do to help those disadvantaged people. Efforts and activities aimed at promoting the rights, the progress and well-being of the disadvantaged people is what we call affirmative action. It means to achieve uniform development of all people in a society. We need affirmative action. And this will help to promote what we call equity and equality. All people will develop at the same pace, and all people's standards of living will be the same and better each and every day. Now, this is done by targeting what we call the vulnerable members of society. Their voices, we give them a chance to hear what their interests are, and we take care of these. The government takes care of these interests during the allocation of development resources, which reduces the feeling of these people. These people should not feel like they are being left out by the government, because it is a well-known fact that not all of us can have the same resources. We cannot all live at the same, we cannot be at the same level. But those we know are disadvantaged, we make sure we help them as much as possible. That is one of the ways we are going to achieve national unity and the sense of brotherhood and the pride of being a Rwandan citizen. Now, number 8, democracy also creates an enabling environment for development. It allows for development to occur. Democracy creates an environment for development, and when there is development, there is going to be good governance. Such an environment is useful in stimulating various programs that will ultimately, or in the long run, promote growth and development. Democracy creates an enabling environment, like I said. It allows for development to occur. People are free, like I said, to participate in all the activities that they want to do. And there's that constant development. When you help everyone to have access to activities that will help them improve their standard of living, they increase their income, be healthy and safe and protected, have access to education, all these people will develop. And in the long run, the country is going to develop. Rwanda is going to thrive and develop because everyone is doing well. And then, under democratic governance, there is what we call facilitation of open communication. democracy encourages open communication due to the fact that there is freedom of speech in which people express their views freely and exchange information. The people are bound to be actively involved in the government process. Why? Because they share their views and exchange information as freely as possible. They then articulate their interests. You tell your interests to whoever is supposed to listen to them. If there's a problem that you have, you tell whoever is supposed to deal with it. And then people tend to mediate their differences freely, exercise their rights and obligations. There is that freedom. The open communication comes in the form of people being able to share and exchange information through different platforms such as social media, through the radios and TVs, through the newspapers. You find that people get a chance to talk and exchange, or to share and exchange information and views about various things. And in the long run, you find that differences are eliminated. There is a sense of people being heard. When you listen to people, they tend to understand what is going on. You tell them what is supposed to be done. They do what they're supposed to do. And in the long run, the country is going to develop and everyone will be doing their job effectively and efficiently. Now, those are the different ways in which democracy promotes or enhances good governance. One thing we need to understand is how democracy has encouraged citizens' involvement in various decision-making processes. How do people participate in making decisions? I told you, people are allowed to elect their leaders at various levels on a periodic basis. And citizens can question the behavior of their leaders on various issues. When you elect an MP or a member of parliament, or when you elect a senator or a deputy, you are free to ask them what they are doing. You give them your views and you must hold them accountable. And then sometimes when the government has a proposal, you can vote yes or no through what we call a referendum. The government can organize a referendum and you can say yes to their proposal, or you can say no to the government's proposal. And then you can also have a chance to exchange your views and share your views in public meetings held by different levels of leadership. And this is how we participate and influence decision making in our countries. Now, I want us to briefly go through a summary of the topic that we have been covering.
Come along and play with us.
We explored the various aspects of democracy and good governance, and we have seen how democracy contributes to good governance. We also looked at the three powers of the state, and we saw how each of them can work together with the other and help the people or the citizens in general. And then we saw which the other important actors or players in governance, the governance process. We talked about NGOs, we talked about the civil society, NGOs, we talked about the private sector, the private businessmen, and these ones are all part of the governance process. They help the government to provide services, because an NGO like Inspire, Educate and Empower Rwanda, this organization sponsors this program. The organization that sponsors a radio program is helping the government provide the service of education. Other organizations like MasterCard, various other organizations help in providing services, some health, some education, some even security. They help the police and to help and ensure that people are, some organizations like banks owned by private individuals and maybe other institutions help in providing banking services or financial services to the people. And as we end our lesson today, I want us to remember these facts about democracy. These are very important facts about democracy. the fact that democracy, number one, democracy is at the center of development. For a country to develop very well with everyone in agreement of whatever is being done, there is need for democracy. And good governance is always a result of democracy. It is easy for the country for the leaders to serve the people if there is democracy, because sometimes the government may end up giving people maybe what they don't agree with, and you can have a problem. The government can have a problem implementing such a program if the people don't agree with it. And then democracy is generally the preferred form of government in most countries by most people. Most people prefer democracy. And this means that many countries in the world are keen on ensuring that there's democracy in order to promote what we call good governance. And then a number of states have adopted this. They have periodic elections, and through these periodic elections, people get to vote for their leaders, vote for people they want to be their leaders, to be in their governments, to be running their countries. And at the end of the day, you find that everyone is satisfied. Democracy makes a person feel proud of being part of their country. You will have a problem telling people, in my country we don't have elections. Countries like that, normally the country will have a very bad image if there is no democracy at all. People don't get to have elections. That is not something that people will be proud of. Now, all governments in the world strive to promote good governance. However, achievement of this is hardly attainable in most societies. It is not easy to have what we call good governance in many societies. And this is what makes the concept very important. This is why it's something that people must talk about and discuss each and every day. How do we provide good services to our people? And the people should be able to say, all right, if we do this, people must have a say in how they are led. And that is how you'll have what we call good governance. Now, in our next lesson, we will begin on a new topic. And I want you to find out what we mean by national service and self-reliance. This is the topic we are going to be looking at. National service and self-reliance. I want you to find out what those two terms mean and how we as individuals can participate in national service and how we can help our country become self-reliant, first of all as a country or as individuals. And then we want to look at different forms of national service. All this is going to be done starting in our next topic, which starts in our next lesson. I want to thank you for being such wonderful students, for paying attention at all times, and I want to wish you the best of health and good luck. Stay safe and always remember to follow the guidelines provided by the government regarding COVID-19. I hope to see you next time. Good luck.
Goodbye, 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 teacher. Goodbye, children. See you next time. Goodbye, 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 teacher. Goodbye, children. See you next time.